I just watched President Traore's speech. This man is so wise, it's not even funny, all right? Mr. President, you said that they want to control your resources and then your youth is forced to migrate over there to make a living. You are absolutely right. On top of it, what they do to those people that migrate here, it's shameful. They send ICE to detain them and to deport them. These days, they don't even send back to the original country, they send them to El Salvador. I am the prime example of how ruthless America has become. I married a US citizen 14 years ago, and they still detained me back in Hawaii, and they tried to deport me. Yeah, they treat like shit anybody who they think they're below them. I applaud you, Mr. President Traore, for standing up to them.
Just need to do a quick update on this guy, Captain Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso. Because you remember how yesterday I did a video on how the United States General Michael Langley was in Congress saying this?
Absolutely, Chairman. I see this and I don't mind calling them out, but Capt Traore and Burkina Faso, as they know that both, whether it's their gold reserves, that is all those proceeds are just in exchange to protect the junta regime.
Many of you in that video were pointing out how he stuttered all the way through that sentence. I mean, he provided no evidence of what he was saying, did he? It was almost like he didn't really believe what he was saying. Well, the latest is just around about the same time as General Langley was saying that, and around about the same time as protests suddenly organically sprung up in France calling for Ibrahim Traore's arrest, there was yet another coup attempt foiled in Burkina Faso. A significant coup attempt targeting the leadership of Burkina Faso has been thwarted, according to an announcement by Security Minister Mahamadou Sanaa. Is it Sanaa or Sanaa on national television? Let me know in the comments below. The foul plot involves several active military personnel and former members of the armed forces. And as you can see there, it was planned for around April the 16th, just a few days before Langley was saying his script on the Senate floor. These Western nations, their leaders, are showing Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traore, and the sovereignty of these countries in Africa absolutely no respect whatsoever. Just listen to the way Macron talked about Ibrahim Traore just a few months ago and how Traore responded.
He also insulted all Africans.
I think they forgot to say thank you to us. It's not a big deal. It will come with time.
There is a part that caught my attention where he talked about ingratitude.
Gratitude, I am well aware, is a non-transmissible disease to humans.
He is human. Our ingratitude is not transmissible to him. This is how this gentleman sees Africa, sees Africans. We are not human. In his eyes, I think that if he is not an atheist and he prays, every morning when he wakes up and prays, he should also pray to the Africans. Because it is thanks to our ancestors that there is a France today. He should pray to us.
Yes, that's right. Macron, after decades of France basically stealing the reserves and the gold from Burkina Faso, they still hold some of Burkina Faso's gold, by the way, and won't give it back. He says that Burkina Faso and Ibrahim Traore should thank them for doing it. The chutzpah! Meanwhile, other nations, such as Russia, are building ties with Burkina Faso and showing Ibrahim Traore nothing but respect. This is him meeting Vladimir Putin in 2023, and since that meeting, Russia have reopened the embassy in Burkina Faso and the ties have become stronger and stronger. And look how the people of Burkina Faso reacted when they heard that Ibrahim Traore was coming back and landing back in the airport from that meeting. Watch this. Thousands of them went to meet him. Thousands. people absolutely love him. As I explained in the video yesterday, it's no wonder when you consider the reforms that he's made to healthcare and education and how he's absolutely revolutionised the agricultural industry. You know, to my knowledge, just in the last 3 years alone, there has been at least 20 either coup attempts or assassination attempts that have failed in Burkina Faso and on this man's life. And as many people pointed out in the comments of my video yesterday, we, in the world, good people of this world, we need to protect this man at all costs.
Burkina Faso was formerly colonized by France and has an abundance of gold in natural resources. Traore pushed out Western influence, including the mine owners, who are French mine owners in Burkina Faso. France wanted to reestablish relations with Burkina Faso, and if you've seen Macron giving a pretty ridiculous speech trying to say one day they'll thank us for helping them. No, they just wanted you to leave them alone. Anyway, Traore said that in order to reestablish relations with France, that France is going to have to return all of the gold that they have stolen from Burkina Faso's mines, and all of this gold that they have is sitting in reserves in France. France is trying to say that that gold is theirs. It comes from mines in France. There are no gold mines in France. So now the US is getting involved. And we can all guess what those claims are going to be. Now we're seeing the claim, oh, he's stealing all the gold for himself and he's not helping his people. Next they're gonna be like, we need to bring democracy to Burkina Faso, like those typical things that the US says in order to manufacture consent for invasion and ultimately backing a coup, which I'm sure they have already tried. Them, France, and anybody else who benefits from the gold exploitation of African nations, which includes those fake Muslim countries like the UAE. Hopefully I don't get in trouble for saying that. But there's a reason why a lot of these nations are not coming to the aid of Palestinians and are also thriving off of the exploitation of natural resources from nations in Africa. Anyway, I'm hoping this gets picked up by American TikTok, but we'll see. And as we go along, you're probably going to hear a lot of comparisons of Thomas Sankara to Ibrahim Traore. Sankara was a leader almost exactly like Traore around 1970s in Burkina Faso. I have one of his speeches pinned on my profile. I'm going to make a part 2 sharing what I know about Sankara because I understand this is 2 minutes and that might be a little bit too long for people's attention span.
This issue of Burkina Faso and Captain Ibrahim Traore has suddenly become one of the biggest political issues in the world, trending regularly on social media. My own interview with our dear friend and guest Nico House on this very subject, literally on this exact subject, is one of our biggest, most viewed clips in all the history of the mother of all talk shows. It's in the millions. Millions of people have watched it.
Ibrahim Traore, who everybody's talking about, Ibrahim Traore is very much part 2 of Sankara, in my opinion. Because it's the whole premise of like, okay, we don't fucking need Europe's help. We don't need America's. We got it. We are resource rich. Fuck off. Because all of y'all's help comes with you exploiting us. All of the homeopathic, natural, spiritual healers and practitioners have come together and said, you're protected, Ibrahim. We got you covered. Why did that just give me goosebumps? May God bless this man. Let's talk about Burkina Faso. Shut up. Burkina Faso is roughly the size of Colorado, a little bit bigger, okay? If you were looking at Africa, look, it's around here. I know it's inverted. Okay, if Africa looks like kind of a backwards P, it's in this part. So, she used to be called Upper Volta, colonial ass name, until the 80s, when a man named Thomas Sankara became the leader of the nation. He did things that, in my opinion, Ibrahim Traore, who is now who everybody's talking about, Ibrahim Traore is very much part 2 of Sankara, in my opinion. Because it's the whole premise of like, okay, we don't fucking need Europe's help. We don't need America's. We got it. We are resource rich. Fuck off. Because all of y'all's help comes with you exploiting us. So here are some things that Thomas Sankara, he was the leader from 1983 to 1987 until his assassination. Which is why Traore, may God's protection be with you. Sankara, first things first, change the fucking name from Upper Volta. That means nothing to the people. Girl, that's not even their language. So he changed the name to Burkina Faso, which means the land of upright people. Love it. He was a feminist. Okay. His security crew, whole bunch of baddies on motorcycles. He outlawed female circ or FGM. He outlawed polygamy, and he outlawed forced marriage. One of his, like, in my opinion, greatest accomplishments was he had a huge vaccine program. The infant mortality rate was like 20%. It was very high. And it dropped 6% during his presidency because he had mass programs getting people and kids vaccinated for things like polio, measles, meningitis. Preventable shit, right? And guess what? It worked. So the infant mortality rate dropped a lot, 6% during his presidency. The country had been experiencing deforestation, so he planted 10 million trees. Yeah. He also established work programs to have like over 20% of the nation's land irrigated. And he made it a thing that all of the government vehicles, at this point, they were Mercedes. He said, girl, nah, that's crazy. And he got them like a whole bunch of damn hoopties. I don't know what actually kind of car, but he was like, why are we trying to flaunt all kind of wealth when our people, the people of this nation, need help? We're not going to live all lavish if they're living in squalor. No, we're going to rise up as a whole nation. Very good. He said, also, people in the government, y'all don't need no first class flight. Mama, right economy. Good shit. And what else? Oh, that the government officials are going to wear traditional garb of their country. Garments that are made with Burkinabe cotton and sewn together and crafted by craftsmen of their nation. Stop buying all this, you know, European fucking, no. Very good. So just did a lot of things that really helped the nation and created solidarity amongst the people. And also he didn't want any pictures of himself in any kind of public government office. He was like, no, there are a million me. There's a million Thomas Sankaras. And he said, they can kill revolutionaries, but they cannot kill ideas. Tremendous. Now, there is a young man in charge of Burkina Faso his name is Ibrahim Traore. So Sankara was 1983 through 1987. Right now is a guy named Traore. Perhaps you've been hearing about him. In regards to Ibrahim Traore, mind your sources if you're gonna look stuff up, because the way they speak of him in his own nation and in his own continent at large, if you go to African news sources, very favorable. Western news sources are like, oh God, whoa, is this about to be a bad thing? Meanwhile, all the people of Africa are like, we love him. So I'm gonna go ahead and follow their lead, seeing as they're there, you know? Also, here's why the West is pissed. Because Traore has paid off all of Burkina Faso's debt. The like international bank and all kind of funds globally have been like, hey, do you guys need a loan? Do you want anything? Do you need anything? Do you want a loan? And he's like, we're cool. don't want your money. Because it's never just a handout, girl. They're never just like, here's some money because we're being nice. They want something in return, duh. So, paid off all their debt and was like, no thanks, we don't need your money, haha. Saudi Arabia said, here's a bunch of money so that you can build 200 mosques. He said, no. If you give us that money, we're going to be building schools and hospitals. Not really sure if they're gonna get that money or not. But, okay, Traore. Very much continuing Sankara's like health programs. He's gotten a bunch of vehicles to go like mobile clinics. So that way people that are in rural areas or in like, I don't want to say like deserted areas, but like remote areas, hard to get to areas, don't worry, we'll come to you. They have like refrigerated trucks and everything so that they can keep the vaccines and continuing this, you know, medical push. Very good. He has built 2 tomato processing plants so that the country can be self-sustaining in terms of food. He has built the country's 2nd cotton processing plant. And, okay, mind you, again, the size of this country is a little bit bigger than the state of Colorado. Or, I don't know where you're from. A little bit bigger than New Zealand. Aotearoa. He procured and distributed 400 tractors, along with other things like motorcycles and other kind of like transport things. Because mind you, they're very much doing shit by hand and like beasts of burden, like, you know, cows and mules and stuff to help with agricultural work. So he got a fleet of tractors and they are all free to use to the farmers. And he's also been distributing high quality seeds and fertilizer in order to help agricultural production. He's also said that if a woman gives birth, that's free. She doesn't need to pay for her hospital stay. And here's how I know. Literally all the African leaders are like, strong work, Ibrahim. Very good. Except for fucking Ruto. Ruto, I made a fucking video about you last year. Your own people don't even like you. Why? You think I'm gonna listen to what you got to say about, oh, I don't like him as a leader? Your own people don't fuck with you as a leader. Get out of office, girl. They're sick of you. Anyway, that's the tea. I'm Burkina Faso. Oh my God, I almost forgot the most important part. So, all of the homeopathic, natural, spiritual healers and practitioners have come together and said, you're protected, Ibrahim. We got you covered. Why did that just give me goosebumps? Do you? May God bless this man.
And say that millions have watched what Nico House said and what I said about Captain Traore. It's even worse than you said, Amy. He didn't just accuse Captain Ibrahim of stealing Burkina Faso's gold. He accused him of stealing Burkina Faso's gold to pay for his own protection. Well, I wonder why he would need protection. Well, one of the obvious reasons is that both France and the United States are quite clearly committed to killing him. What is it about Captain Traore that they want to kill? Well, in addition to the great strides forward that you have adumbrated, this very week, the Burkina Faso government abolished all education fees. It is now free to go to nursery, primary, secondary, and university in Burkina Faso. What's not to love about that? Traore has nationalized the building of the country's roads when he discovered that the private French companies that were hitherto building the roads were charging up to 100 times more for the building of those roads than the government of Burkina Faso itself can do. And so he's brought it in-house. There's now a public works department in Burkina Faso, in Ouagadougou, which will henceforth pave and lay roads across.
Welcome back. on the issue of Captain Ibrahim Traore, he is now the new sheriff in town. He is the most talked about president from Africa. Nowadays on social media, everyone talks about Captain Ibrahim Traore. And quite shocking is when white people have a support for Captain Ibrahim Traore. This is so nice to behold. This is something that you cannot think about. Seeing white people support Captain Ibrahim Traore is something that is quite rare, but we are seeing it now because this kind of oppression has gone on for far too long. The continent of Africa has been exploited by the West for a long period of time. We have been exposed to colonialism, slavery, and the likes, and this has painted a negative image on the continent of Africa or about Africans in general. And it looks like always the West blames our leaders being corrupt as the reason why we are poor. But this new president, Captain Ibrahim Traore, is turning things around. He is rewriting the script. So he toppled over the then government, who was a puppet of the West, and then he came into power. And as he came into power, he has had a lot of great achievement and impact in the lives of the people of Burkina Faso within this short period of time that he has been in office as the president of Burkina Faso. Now, the West has planned against him multiple times. The majority of these times, they have not been successful. And this has made a lot of people all around the world, in Africa, and people of black descent support Captain Ibrahim Traore the more. There has been series of protests and walks, all in solidarity of Captain Ibrahim Traore. And quite shocking is this, where white people are really speaking out in order to support Captain Ibrahim Traore. The black race has been marginalized for quite a long period of time, and I believe that this is the time for the black race to break free. We have gone through a lot of oppression, and this is the period where we need to break free. And Captain Ibrahim Traore is leading the charge on the continent of Africa. He has been able to get the support of the citizens of Burkina Faso, likewise the support of all youths on the African continent and black people in the diaspora as well to rally behind him. Now, there are some white people who understand the conditions of Africa and have some empathy for people of African descent and are also speaking in this matter of Captain Ibrahim Traore. Now, quite recently, the U.S. General who is in charge of AFRICOM, General Michael Langley, made a demeaning statement about Captain Ibrahim Traore when he was invited to a U.S. Senate Congress. And this was to smear the name of Captain Ibrahim Traore so that they could use their tactics and say that things are not going on well in Burkina Faso, so they could come in and then do their thing again, just as they did to the then president of Libya, Muammar Gaddafi. It is in this light that they want to perpetrate something similar. But thanks to social media nowadays, information spreads very easily and is accessible to each and every one of us. So no one out there can deceive anyone and use any information that is coined out for an ulterior motive in order to brainwash the people of the African continent and people in the on the globe at large. We are all privy to the information. We all know exactly what is happening. Whenever any leader rises up in Africa, the West does not feel easy. They feel threatened whenever there is a leader who is rising up to stand against oppression in Africa. So I'm very happy that these white people have also shared their opinions. Particularly one lady listed all the achievements of Captain Ibrahim Traore. And you could see that this young man is really doing a whole lot in order to help the people of Burkina Faso. Let me know what you also think about all these in the comment section below. And don't forget to share this video with your friends and your family on other social media platforms like WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, and other social media platforms. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Just click the subscribe button down here. Click on the subscribe button. Click also on the notification bell. And I'd like to see you again in my next video.